what ingredients you have over here?
So this oven ready pot pie where you just add chicken and vegetables is supposed to take place of making a homemade roux, but I kind of want to still make a homemade roux and just incorporate some of this just for flavor purposes. Grocery store, all they had was cream of mushroom and not cream of chicken, so I kind of got this in place of the cream of chicken. So I'm still going to kind of like make a homemade roux, but I'm going to also add this to it for flavor purposes.
What's that, juice?
Wine, that's the main ingredient. So first what we're going to do is we're going to brown the chicken. We're not going to cook the chicken all the way through because the chicken is going to continue cooking once we mix all the ingredients together. So I'm actually going to use some garlic and herb butter to saute the chicken in first. Just a teaspoon. And I'm going to saute the chicken in the butter. That looks
like a whole lot more than a teaspoon.
Well, you can eyeball it. It's a big pan, so it's a little bit.
Spoonful of sugar helps the
So once the pan gets hot, then I'm going to add the chicken. And it's hot, and my butter is browning just a tiny bit. That's how I know it's hot. So I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken. Because it's a big pan, I can really add all the chicken at one time. If there was a smaller pan, I love the sound of that. If it was a smaller pan, then I would break it up into different batches and do smaller portions at a time for more evenly cooking. So we're going to let this brown, and then we're going to stir it around a little bit and then put it to the side and then work on the filling for the pot pie. Chicken is done on the outside, so I'm just going to transfer it to this container after I rinse it out real quick. This bowl.
How long did it cook for?
It only took about 5 minutes because it was on medium heat. And I forgot to mention that this chicken was pre-seasoned. My husband can tell you what he seasoned it with, but it was pre-seasoned and it marinated for 24 hours, and then I froze it and then took it out when I needed it.
Yeah, so I don't remember what I seasoned it with, but yeah, she's right. That's what it was. I tasted liquid smoke.
Chicken out the pan, and I transfer it to another bowl, and now I'm going to cook the inside of the pot pie. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of the garlic and herb butter to the pan, and I'm going to add the onions, and I still have the heat on medium. So I'm going to add the onions, the diced potatoes, and I'm only going to add half of the mixed vegetables because my children have a phobia of vegetables, so I'm not going to add all of it. But you can add all the vegetables, or you can add some other type of vegetables, broccoli, green beans, whatever vegetables you like. You can omit the carrots, you can add celery.
Omit? What's that mean?
You can kind of make it your own, but I'm gonna do these mixed vegetables, and I'm just gonna pretty much just let it cook until the potatoes get a little soft and the frozen vegetables defrost, and it's gonna be a nice little vegetable mixture, and then we'll make the roux out of it.
So I got a question about how much of that onion was that? You cut up one whole onion?
So it was already cut onions in the refrigerator, so I'm not really sure. It was in a baggie.
So about a half of onion, and you diced it up?
Right, it was about a half an onion. I only used what I had left over. If there was no onions in there, I probably would have used a whole onion.
And those are raw, those potatoes are fresh potatoes, those aren't cooked, right?
Right, they're red potatoes, and I de-skinned them and diced them up, so they're raw potatoes.
Do you add any seasoning at this point, like any salt or pepper?
I am going to add some seasoning, but I'm probably going to wait until they're almost the texture that I want them to be. So I added the rest of the vegetables because I didn't want them to go to waste. And I just added a little bit more butter just so that nothing will stick to the pan. So I'm still sauteing it and waiting for them to cook all the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the seasonings to the potatoes and vegetable mixture. Turn this light on because I can't see. Some seasonal. I don't have any measurement for the seasonings. It's pretty much seasoned to taste. So it's however you want your food to taste. A little bit of paprika. I'm gonna do some pepper. And then once I'm done adding the seasonings, it'll probably take another 5 minutes for the potatoes to get as soft as I want them to be. I don't want them too soft where they're falling apart because they're still gonna keep cooking in the oven. So I'm adding some garlic sea salt right now. I'm gonna add a little bit of regular salt. I put it in my hand first so I don't over salt it. And I just add some salt there. And like I said, I'm gonna give this 5 more minutes and then we'll continue. So the vegetable mixture is pretty much the way I want it.
How long did it take you to get it done?
It took about 10-15 minutes total. I wasn't really keeping track of time. But what I'm gonna do is taste it to make sure that the potatoes have the consistency that I want it to have.
What consistency are you looking for?
Almost done.
Almost done.
That's perfect. And the seasonings were perfect too. But what I am going to add is some oregano, some ground sage, some ground rosemary, and some thyme. Now, if you're able to buy fresh herbs, then that would be ideal. But you gotta use what you got.
Wait. So with those dried herbs, you can't use too much of it because
okay, so you have to grind it first.
You can grind it with your fingers. You can like pinch them in your fingers because they're concentrated at this point.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna do a pinch of each one.
So when you dehydrate herbs like that, they become really concentrated and really powerful. And be careful with your oregano because it comes out quick.
Yeah, the holes are pretty big. But all these fresh would just make the flavors pop even more. So now we're gonna make the roux. So I'm just gonna put like a tablespoon or so of flour in here. Like I said, I'm not really that good with measurements.
Freehand.
Yeah, that tastes like juice. I think I
drink.
One of the kids' drinks. So you gotta use a dry spoon with flour. So it's all based on how much food you have in your pan. And this is, the flour is so it'll make your roux thick, right? So we're gonna do that and we're gonna stir it.
I don't like that.
Hmm?
I don't like that.
You don't like it? Well, let's see how you like it after you taste it, okay?
So I'm just eyeballing it, and I want to keep my pan in a non-stick manner, so I'm going to add some butter, like about that much butter. Okay, well that much plus this much. So I'm going to add the butter, and I'm probably going to add a half a teaspoon more of flour. Okay, teaspoon, or half a teaspoon more flour. Well, it might be, yeah.
That's a spoonful.
Half a teaspoon.
That's a spoonful.
Half a spoonful of flour, and a little bit for two-pop. And then we're gonna stir that. And then I'm gonna add some chicken stock. Now what you can do is you can use water and chicken bouillon cubes. But I'm gonna do the easy route because I got kids that are hungry. So we're gonna add, I don't know, just a half a cup. And then we're gonna stir that. And then I'm gonna add some heavy whipping cream. You can also use half and half.
Why are you using heavy whipping cream?
It's just thicker, and I don't have half and half, so I'm using heavy whipping cream.
I think whipping cream is better than half and half, especially when you're cooking.
So I'm just gonna, I don't know, just add enough. It's pretty much just eyeballing it based off of the consistency you want. You don't want your pot pie too watery, so you don't want too much liquid. So you just put enough, whatever that means to you.
Because what heavy cream, what it does is once it gets hot, it starts to coagulate, and it starts to become together, and it gives it more consistency.
And then as you're stirring, if you realize, oh, this is too thick, or I want to add some more liquid, then that's when you add more. So at this point, I'm actually going to add a little bit more broth and a little bit more heavy whipping cream, and then I'm just going to let it simmer for another 5 minutes.
That looks good. That looks really good. I actually wouldn't even add any broth to this right now.
I'm just a touch.
That's
Because as
heavy.
you cook it, it's going to, you know, cook down, yeah? See? Just a touch of both. And then we're going to just let this simmer for 5 minutes. While you're waiting for this to cook or simmer, it's a good idea to clean up as you're cooking or as you're waiting. So either have an empty dishwasher that you can put dishes in, or have a dishwasher who can go to the sink and wash them dishes. So I cheated. I walked away and I tasted it, and so it needs a little bit more seasonal. So I'm just gonna add enough from one edge to the other edge of the pan to cover it, and then back again. So at this point, it's been about 5 minutes that I had it simmer. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of this chicken pot pie mixture because I didn't have the cream of chicken like I mentioned, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of the cream of mushroom as well. And then once I add that, then I'll add the chicken to it, and then we're almost done.
So you're not gonna use a whole pack?
No, I'm not going to use the whole pack because I made my homemade roux. So it's pretty much like you do either or, but I'm combining both.
So explain to me what a roux is again.
So a roux is pretty much when you're making your own thickening agent. So like if you're making macaroni and cheese, you make a cheese roux. Here I made just a sauce roux. So it's just butter and flour that makes the roux thick. And then you add whatever liquid like stock, half and half, milk, heavy cream, and that's what makes it creamy. So it's a thick, creamy sauce, as opposed to buying the canned sauce. You make it yourself.
So you pretty much just use that for flavor.
Yeah, I'm just using this for flavor because they didn't have cream of chicken at the grocery store, and I wanted that chicken flavor in here. Have this to a nice bubble, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken that I did not cook all the way because it's gonna cook the rest of the way in the oven. And because I'm adding more chicken, I might have to add some more broth.
Well, let me
I
ask
don't
you
want it
this.
too
Because the
thick.
chicken isn't all the way cooked, is the juices from the chicken gonna go into the sauce, making the sauce thinner?
It would if I poured it, but I don't really want that chicken juice. Well, you know what? Sure. So that was my chicken broth.
No, just so you don't misconfuse what I'm saying. That chicken is still raw in the middle, which means that raw chicken is gonna excrete some type of juices. So is it gonna make your roux too thin?
No, it's not gonna make it too thin because it's already thick. So it's not gonna make it too thin.
Okay.
Because the more this cooks, it's just gonna keep getting thicker because of
The heavy
the
cream.
flour.
Yeah, and the heavy cream.
So we stir this around. And what you can do is, so I'm gonna top this with raw biscuits and put it in the oven. I can do it in this skillet pan, and then it will be a skillet pot pie. But because I want to make 2 separate portions of it, I'm gonna put it in 2 separate containers because I want to be able to freeze some for a later date. Because my family's not gonna eat all this, so I want to be able to save it for a later date.
I noticed you said you was gonna top it with the biscuits. Are you gonna layer it at the bottom as well to make it a complete pot pie?
I'm not gonna layer it at the bottom because then the bottom will be like really soggy in my opinion. I don't want to make it a actual pie. I'm just gonna top it with the biscuits.
Okay.
Now, if I was using a pie crust, then I probably would do that. So, this is the pan that we're gonna actually eat out of today. So I'm gonna do this one first. And I'm just putting the mixture in here. Pretty much just put however much you want for, you know, the days that you're gonna eat it. I probably wouldn't eat it past 3 days. So just put 3 days worth of food in here. But you have to have room for the biscuits to expand as well. Because I had to cut it. Probably should let this refrigerated because now it's kind of gooey. So I'm not going to use this whole pan on this one pan. And I probably should have left it refrigerated so it can cut better while it's cold. But I'm going to cut it in quarters. Like this. And like this. So you have little pieces.
Why are you doing it like that?
Just preference. You can put the whole biscuit right on top like that. But I feel like because I have a family of 5 and the portion size that I'm gonna scoop out, it'll be easier to scoop out if the biscuits are already cut before cooking it. So
you're not gonna flatten the biscuit, the dough?
No, I'm just gonna place it in there like this. And I'm gonna keep it spread out because they're gonna expand. So it's gonna look like that. And now I'm about to put it in the oven. I have the oven set to 375. And then once the biscuits are done, then we're gonna take it out the oven.
So you don't want to add any more biscuits to top it to cover the whole thing?
They're gonna expand.
Expand up or out?
Both. I mean, you want more biscuits.
I think we should put more
I don't
biscuits
think
on there.
we should overload it with
You
biscuits.
too, what do you think? More biscuits?
Well, we don't have time for them to reply, so I'll just do more biscuits because hubby wants more biscuits.
More biscuits. Biscuits!
But it's for the kids anyway because this is too many carbs.
Oh, those are original biscuits too. So, nothing fancy, nothing sweet. It's original biscuits.
Yeah, so like I have honey butter biscuits, but you don't, this isn't a sweet dish. So you want to use original. So I'm just going to put it in here on 375 uncovered. And we're just going to wait until the biscuits are cooked. I'll put the timer on for 10 minutes just to check it at that time.
How long does the biscuits take to cook?
Well, a whole can of biscuits take 13 to 16 minutes. But because we have other elements with the biscuit, it's going to slow down the biscuit process. So we'll just put it on 10 minutes and then we'll check it at that point. And I'll just turn the light on so that the kids can run around and tell me if they're done before the 10 minutes is up. So it's time to take it out the oven. And as you can see, there's extra space where I could have used more biscuits. But the biscuits that I didn't use, tomorrow when I go to reheat it, I can use those uncooked biscuits so that you're not reheating soggy biscuits. So more than likely, these biscuits are going to be gone today. And then tomorrow, I'll just top it with fresh biscuits and then put it in the oven to reheat it, which will give you fresh biscuits on top as opposed to soggy biscuits. So it's done, and I'm gonna make one of the kids' plates. I kind of want to taste the final product. So I'm just gonna cut into this biscuit. Just want to get some of the biscuit and the chicken. Don't want to burn myself. My leg is moving. That's really good. And I'm not saying it just because I made it. Watch, I'm gonna let Jeff taste it and you'll see.
So what she likes to do is she likes to burn me. So I'm gonna make sure I blow it really good before I eat it.
No, good.
Like you, like.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let go.
It's not on me. It's hot.
Did you use liquid smoke at all?
You probably use it when you marinated the chicken.
That was really, yes, that's what it was. I tasted liquid smoke and man, it's amazing.